Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Sanga on September 2nd, 2023. And I'm speaking from Sadhu-bhavan in Poland. And we have some on-site participants as well as online participants. So welcome to you all the way from Argentina and New York and London and Madhupuri land and everywhere else. Where else? And Beijing and Deutschland and Valencia. Okay, let's begin, shall we? Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savanutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Viśākhan Vitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And 3 more pranati mantras. Sanatanam Rupam Udiyushokshitau Ridaktadhanau Vrajakana Nishayo Tatkeli Kalpagama Sangatilita Sadali Vitir Anuragi Nirvaje. I worship Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami, who brought Radha and Krishna, the king and queen of Vrindavan, out of their hearts into this world revealed their pastimes from the Vedic scriptures, and who are followed by all those devotees who love Krishna. Adadanas trinam dantair idam yache punah punaha Srimat Rupa Padamboja Rajoham Syang Bhave Bhave. Taking a blade of grass between my teeth, I repeatedly beg, birth after birth, may I be the dust of Srila Rupa Goswami's lotus feet. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Yam Dadati Swapadantikam. We chanted this. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, Shri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam, give me shelter at his lotus feet? And maybe one more. Yam pravrajantam anupetam apeta krityam dvaipayano virahakatada ajuhaba putreti tanmayataya taravo bine dustang sarva bhuta hridayang munim anatosmi. Let me offer my respectful obeisance unto that great sage, Shukadeva Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread ceremony, his father, Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, cried out, "O my son, indeed, only the trees, which were absorbed in the same feelings of separation, echoed in response to the begrieved father." There's a section in the Mahabharata, the unabridged edition of the Mahabharata, that in which Vyasadeva is preaching to Shukadeva Goswami. Let's see, maybe later I can read something of what I wrote about that for the yoga and animal ethics book. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Greetings, everyone, and I guess we can proceed with our song of the week. Our song of the week is not that one. Where did it go? It's here somewhere. I have too many things on my screen. No, it's not there. Yeah. There it is. A very short song this time, with only, well, it says 3 verses. We can say 2.5 verses. This is Swabhista Lalasa, song number 2 from Prarthana, from Srila Narottama Das Thakura. Hari Hari Kabe mor Hoibe Su-Dine keli kautuka rańge koribo sevane. Oh Lord Hari, Lord Hari, when will I directly serve you as you enjoy blissful transcendental pastimes? When will that auspicious day be mine. Keli means play, it means pastimes. And kautuka means something like clever, I think. Let's see. He just says transcendental pastimes. Koribo, sevane. So that's the future tense. Koribo, I will do, I will make, I will act. And sevane, in service, in serving. And there's the question word, Kabe, which this time was transcribed with an O instead of an A. Kabe. Kabe mora Hoibe Su-Dine. Su-Dine, I guess here is that auspicious day, that good day. When will it be? Hoibe. When will it be mine? Mora Hoibe. Rańge. Rańge. Yeah. Oh, blissful transcendental pastimes. Yeah, I think rańga could mean blissful. Okay. Then he's going to describe some details of this transcendental situation. Lalita Visakha sane joteko sakhīra mandali koribo dońha meli. kānu kore dhari nritya kore phiri nirakhi goabo kutuholi. When in the Lalita, Visakha, Radha, and Krishna, in the circle of their friends. Okay. So on the second line, mandali means circle. Sakhīra mandali, the circle of the gana, the group of friends, sakhīra. So he's carrying over the question word Kabe. It's sort of implied because, yeah, koribo is there. Dońha meli. Dońha is the two, so it's Radha Krishna. And Lalita Visakha sane. Sane is, I believe, of Lalita and Visakha. Joteko, jota eka, I guess means direct. Excuse me. And meli would mean to meet. When will I meet you? When will I meet Radha and Krishna directly? When seeing them holding hands. Kānu kore dhari, nritya kore phiri. And dancing in their transcendental pastimes, will my voice become choked with ecstatic love? Nirakhi goabo kutuholi. I'm not sure of some things here. Anyway, nritya means dancing. Kānu is Krishna. Yeah. Else, kore dhari, I guess is holding hands. Kore and phiri, I think it must mean like turning, dancing. Nirakhi, gowabo. Okay, that's the verb, future tense. My voice will be choked. Gowabo, kutoholi, I guess. Gowabo, when I will choke. Kutuholi, in intense emotion, something like that. And the third verse, as we stumble along. Lalasa vishram ghare. Govardhan giribare, rai kānu koribe shoyana. Narottama dase koi, jeno mora hoi, anukkan chorono sebon. When the dancing pastimes are ended, Shri Radha and Krishna will take rest in a cottage on Govardhan Hill, the best of mountains. Lalasa vishram ghare. So ghare, in a house, in a cottage. Vishram, resting. And alasa, not sure here. No, I have to look it up. Govardhan Girivare, on the Govardhan Hill, which is Girivara. Vara means excellent or choice. So this is the best of hills, Govardhan. Raikanu koribe shayana. Shayana means resting, sleeping. So Raikanu will do sleeping, koribe shayana. And then Narottama says, I pray that I will always serve the lotus feet of the divine couple. Narottama koi e jeno mor hoi. Anukshan. Anukshan means moment after moment. So constantly. Charana sevana. I will do the sevana of the charana, of the lotus feet. And koi is to speak, to say. So Narottama says, E jeno, this such is of me. Something, I don't know the expression, but basically, so this is my prayer. Anukkan chorana seva. May I always serve the divine couple. So again, he starts out with all these songs, Hari Hari, and he expresses longing. When is that day going to be mine? Su-Dine, Kabe mor Hoibe Su-Dine. But then, unlike the other songs so far where he's been expressing so much his feeling of being fallen, now he's more like, okay, I'm ready. I want to serve, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the signal to let me come and join in these intimate pastimes, right into the mandali of the sakhis. That's what he's looking for. All right, let's try it. And do we have some Yes, we have with us some live singers and players. You want to take some noisemakers? You have cartels. There's more noisemakers there. Hari Hari Kabe mora Hoibe Su-Dine Hari Hari Kabe mora Hoibe Su-Dine keli kautuka rańge koribo sevane keli kautuka rańge koribo sevane. Lalita and Visakha sane joteko sakhīra kāne Lalita Visakha joteko sakhīra Lalita Visakha Sanga joteko sakhīra kāne Lalita Visakha joteko sakhīra mandali koribo dońha meli mandali koribo dońha meli kānu kore dhari nritya kore phiri kore dhari nritya kore phiri kānu kore dhari nritya kore phiri nirakhi goa kuta holy nirakhi goabo kutu holy. Lalasa vishama gore govardhana giri vare. Lalasa vishama gore govardhana giri vare. kānu koribe shai ana. kānu kānu koribe shaya na. kānu Narottama Dasa koi jeno mora ho. Narottama Dasa koi jeno mora ho. Anukan charana sevana. Anukan charana seva. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Haribo, 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 Haribo. Srila Narottama Thakura ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, maybe I should first ask if anyone has any reflections about this song, which we have just sung. Now I have to put it somewhere where I can see it. There. Anyone have any thoughts about this? Mm-hmm. No? Anyone in our live audience? Govindastali, any thoughts about it? Just gonna look at it. Okay, good. Well, as I said, I think it's interesting that there's a definite sense of anticipation along with this question, this rhetorical question, Kabe, when will that day be mine? There's a sense of anticipation. The day will be mine someday. When, we don't know, but it will come. What was the name of the devotee who was told he would not be able to see Lord Chaitanya until after, whatever, a million years or something like that? And then when he heard that news, he started dancing in anticipation. Oh, great, it's going to happen. And when Lord Chaitanya heard this, that this devotee was so happy that he's going to see the Lord in 1,000,000 years, then the Lord said, all right, let him come in immediately. What was his name? We should know this. Was it Mukunda? Maybe it was Mukunda. I don't know what his offense was, though, that made Lord Chaitanya say that. Anyone have anything you'd like to share and tell, or tell and show, or show and share? In terms of news or otherwise. I have a couple of things to show, but first
Yes,
let's see
Guru
what you
Maharaj,
have.
Divyambara Mataji, she has show and tell something.
Oh, yes, please.
Jai Guru Maharaj.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
all glories to all the devotees. Last week I participated in the Rupotsava organized by the VIH in Vrindavan. It's a 5-day celebration of Srila Rupa Goswami's disappearance. And they invited me to chant some shlokas. And
Ah.
because I know how much you enjoy that, I thought maybe I can share a couple that glorify Lord Krishna in anticipation of his appearance day, Janmashtami, coming
Oh,
up
yeah.
in a few days. So, is that okay?
Please.
Let me share my screen. So this is a summary of Krishna's Vrindavan Lila, Ashtadasha Chandak Stava, and it's a beautiful book. It's a small book, and Srila Rupa Goswami summarizes in a verse or two each chapter of the 10th canto in relation to Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes. And Srila Rupa Goswami is very expert at depicting the different rasas and the bhava, the emotion related to the pastime. And I'm always amazed. He's so expert at selecting the meter that conveys that emotion. So um, this these couple of, they're very long verses, but they depict the 7th and 8th chapter of the 10th canto. It's the first Krishna's first birthday celebration. He's 1 year old, and everybody's gathered at Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai's house, and yeah, and this is when Krishna kills the cart demon Shakata Asura, and Trinavarta also soon after. So, Guru Maharaj, how are we gonna do the translation? Would you like to elaborate on the translation?
I'm just, maybe we start with you doing the chanting.
Okay. So this is, I learned how to chant these verses from Dravida Prabhu, and it's a very, very jolly meter. And he calls it the Rupa rap. It's like the rap music. This is transcendental rap.
Yeah.
Let me. Can you hear my tempura?
I hear it and then it disappears, and then we hear it and then it disappears.
Okay, well, we'll try our best. So, verse 6, this is just an introduction. Srila Rupa Goswami says, and now we're going, may my mind become fixed on the pastime of Krishna breaking the cart demon. Mama matiruchala charane bhagavati paryankita shaite kapata prandita kushale shakata vigatine parispuratu. And I like how Srila Rupa Goswami prays, may my mind become fixed on Krishna who performs this particular pastime. So I find it a nice correlation to today's song, Guru Maharaj, because Srila Narottama Das Thakur prays to be absorbed in these pastimes. So it's a nice way to pray. May I become absorbed in Krishna's pastimes or a particular pastime. Autanika mahasankulitambaka shakata dastana shayana lambaka kucharasa trishna virachita rodana chanchala padakrita shakata vinodana Vismita pashupa sudurga macheshtita katita nijehita shavaka veshtita katara janaki janaka gatankita mantrika dharani surakrita shantika Janani durvaha gaurava vingraha sapadividitsita danuja vinigraha danutanayena kshanamapavahita kantata tigraha nirmahita hita Viklava janani nirbara shochita virudad gopi kula parilochita nirmita janani bandhu mahodaya mama pingo kula mangala modaya mama pingo kula mangala modaya I have to catch my breath. It's a very festive meter. So these few verses describe how the Utpana ceremony, and Mother Yashoda was so busy with all the festivities, and she put Krishna down on a bed under the cart. But he was upset because he became hungry. So out of his anger, he kicked the cart and he broke it. And it's also interesting to see the rhymes. So you will see how the last 3 syllables of each line rhyme. So Tambaka, Lambaka, Rodana, Vinodana. So it's really beautiful how Srila Rupa Goswami makes this poetry. And then everybody was astonished. And the children kept saying, yes, Krishna did it, Krishna did it. But they couldn't, the elders couldn't, the adults couldn't believe it. So then they became very anxious and asked the brahmanas to chant mantras to counteract the evil influence. And then he killed the Trinavarta by holding his neck. Kantatati. And then the final verse, so Srila Rupa Goswami describes what happened, and then he always ends with a prayer. And also he always describes the emotions around the pastime. So the anxiety, first the festivities, the happiness, then the anxiety, and all the cries. And then in the end, he says, "O auspiciousness of Gokula, please fill me with transcendental happiness." And the meter itself is very jolly, very happy.
Do we know the name of the meter?
I can find out. This particular rendition does not say it, but there is another rendition of the translation that mentions the meter at the end.
Yeah, very nice. I'm also just curious, I see in this edition the yellow marked words with a plus. Is there something about those to be known?
Yes, this is actually, this particular file has Dravida Prabhu's notes on, I think he elaborates a little bit on the translation of some of these words. And also some verses he translated in poetically, so it's the translation.
Yeah, he's expert at that.
So it's very delightful. Srila Rupa Goswami delights our hearts.
What is the name again of this work of his?
Ashtadasha Chandak Stava.
Oh, Ashtadasha Chandak Stava.
I can put it in the chat. Sometimes it's also called Lila Chanda. Kushakrata Prabhu translated it years ago.
That would have been quite some years ago.
Yes.
Very nice.
There is more. This is just
Please.
verse 1.
Yeah.
So 2 more parts. Navashishulila langita khayana garga vishkrita nama rasayana ringana mandita nanda niketana madhurima tarpita gokula chetana chalatala chalatara tarnaka pucha vikarshana vismrita griha kriti ramani harshana kutukinna sumaya vatsu vimochana chaurya vishankita chanchala lochana Akroshana krita hasita dambara mukapata vakrita lunchana sambara rachito lukala prishta virajana randrita shikya stita varabhajana Gambya nirmita kapikula ranjana kalpita navadadita handi banjana janani vikshita savaya vilochana jai jai gokula padma virochana jai jai gokula padma virochana. So, this is continuing chapter 8. So Gargamuni revealed the childhood pastimes, what will happen, who Krishna is. And then Krishna started crawling, Krishna and Balaram, they started crawling in the courtyard and delighted the hearts of Gokula with his sweetness. And this is my favorite part, when he grabs the tails of the restless calves and they drag him around. and everybody is laughing. And then he's very naughty, so he releases the calves at the wrong time and they drink all the milk of the cows. And then he's frightened because he's stealing yogurt and butter and ghee, and then he's restlessly looking here and there. And the gopis rebuke him and he laughs at them. And he conceals his guilt. And then he climbs on a wooden mortar, pokes holes in the jars, the containers, suspended from the rope. So this is like picture verses. They really paint a picture of Krishna's pastimes. And delights the monkeys by giving all the milk products to them and breaking the pots of fresh yogurt. He's frightened of his mother, and at the end, O son who makes the lotus flower of Gokula bloom, all glories to you, all glories to you. It's a beautiful way to engage the mind.
Each line is a compound, a samasa in the vocative case, so they're all addressing the Lord directly, very much like Srila Sanatana Goswami in his Sri Krishna Lila Stava, but with longer verse form. Krishna Lila Stava is all in Anushtup, simple Anushtup, but it's the same sort of thing, addressing the Lord, summarizing his pastimes through making names of these descriptions, or descriptive names, I guess you can say. Yes. I saw part 3. Are you going to do part 3 also?
Yeah, it's just one verse. So this is Balaram. Yes. Giving up Krishna. So Rama prakati kritamrit bhakshana janani sammukadrita bhaya lakshana mukaputa darshita nikila charachara gopeshvara sutamai mudamachara gopeshvara sutamai mudamachara. So, O Lord, whose clay eating was revealed by Balaram, so this is when Krishna ate dirt, and you showed all signs of being afraid when you were brought before your mother. So this is always an amazing thing. How could Krishna be afraid of his mother? O Lord, who showed that the entire universe filled with moving and non-moving creatures was present within your mouth. O Son of the King of the Gopas, please bestow transcendental happiness upon me.
Very nice. Nice, nice, nice. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
We still didn't have our tour. We were gonna make a tour of China with you chanting mantras.
Well, by your desire one day, I hope to assist you that way, Guru Maharaj.
Let's see.
COVID happened, so we couldn't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, let's see if we can do something. Okay, good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, anyone else have something you want to show or tell, or show and tell, or tell and show? This is what we call a hard act to follow. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, maybe the best way to follow is with some verse, because I have the Krishna Lila Stava here. So maybe we should read some of this, because as you have reminded us, Krishna Janmashtami Titi is coming soon. And so in anticipation of this, we can read some. As I said, these are verses in Anushtup, simple Anushtup, and therefore, in a sense, they can be easier, well, not in a sense, but definitely they can be easier to chant and easier to remember if one would want to remember verses from it. So I'm going to jump into somewhat in the middle of this, verse number 46. This is, again, Sanatana Goswami. He's offering obeisances to the Lord, and specifically he says that he's offering 108 obeisances. So you may wonder, how does that work exactly? Because the book as a whole has 432 verses. So what he's done is he's marked so that he'll say, here ends obeisance number 2, here ends obeisance number 3, number 4, and like that. And what we're reading now is going to be obeisance number 12. Svarbhurbushana padabja vinodaikarta jata he Jayabhubhara harana devashvasita matrika. O Lord, whose lotus feet are the ornament of earth and heaven. you have taken birth just to enjoy your pastimes. Victory to you, remover of the earth's burden, who had the demigods console your mother. Yeah, so there's a nice, I like this second line, Vinodai karta jata, hey. He ends the line with hey, which is an exclamation. It's calling out, oh, oh. And Vinoda, we know maybe from Bhakti Vinoda. So what means Vinoda? It can mean simply enjoyment, of enjoyment. So Vinoda, Eka, Arta, Jata. So Jata means born. And Eka Arta, one purpose. You were born for one purpose. What was that? Vinoda, just to enjoy. Yes. Who of us can say that about ourselves? Okay, another one. Bhadra Krishnashtami Jata Prajapatyarksha Sambhava Mahi Mangala Vistarin Sadhu Chitta Prasadaka. You were born in the dark fortnight of Bhadra, on the 8th day, under the lunar mansion of Prajapati. Thus you expanded the good fortune of the earth and brought satisfaction to the hearts of the saintly. So Mahi Mangala Vistarin. You are an expander. Expander of what? Expander of Mahi Mangala, the auspiciousness of Mahi. Mahi is a word for earth. And Sadhu Chitta Prasadaka. When you have a word with a short ka on the end, it's very possible that it's indicating a person who does something. So related to the word karma, or more generally kri, to do or make. And so a prasadaka, I know devotees are going to say, oh, that means the Lord cooks prasadam. Well, could mean that. But Gopi Paranadhana Prabhu translates it, O bringer of satisfaction. Prasada means satisfaction. Satisfaction to whom? To the sadhus, and specifically to their hearts. Sadhu chitta prasadaka. So that's very nice. Maybe one more? Maharshi Manaso Lalasa Santoshita Sura Vraja Nishita Samayod Bhuta Vasudeva Priyatmaja. O son of Vasudeva's beloved wife, when you appeared in the middle of the night, you thrilled the minds of the great sages and fully satisfied all the demigods. So Maharshi means Maha Rishi, and Manasa, the minds, Ulasa, O delighter of the minds of the great sages. Santoshita Sura Vraja. The Sura Vraja, the demigods, it says. So Vraja, I guess, can mean also like a collection of, like a gana. Yeah, you fully satisfied. Santoshita. So he didn't just toshita, he didn't just satisfy, he fully satisfied.
Guru Maharaj?
Udbhuta. Yes.
Your internet is unstable. We couldn't hear the last part now.
Oh. Okay. I also forgot to turn off the music thing. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I don't know how long ago you didn't hear me, but I'll just say Nishita.
This is the last part.
Nishita Samaya in the middle of the night. You appeared. Bu, which means appearance. And ud, the prefix, has a sense of out or away. So it has this sense of udbhuta, having arisen, having come about, or having manifest. When did he manifest? Nishita Samaya, at the time of I guess Nishita means midnight, or middle of the night. And then Vasudeva Priya Atmaja. So there's Vasudeva and there's Vasudeva. And Vasudeva is the son of Vasudeva. But Vasudeva Priya refers to she who is dear to Vasudeva. And who can that be? Of course, Devaki. And Atmaja, ja means born, and Atma from the self. So born from the self, the body, in this case, of she who is dear to Vasudeva. That's Vasudeva Priyatmaja. Okay. So that's nice. Krishna appears to please his devotees and also to simply enjoy himself. Vinodai karta jatahe. But these are not conflicting. It's not that pleasing himself is not pleasing his devotees, of course. No, everything he does is pleasing for everyone. Even the demons. Okay, good. Some show and tell from me. First show and tell is that this year's Srila Prabhupada Tributes book has arrived. And as you may know, there are two Vyasa Puja books for Srila Prabhupada each year. And this one is the, how shall I put it, more democratic one. It invites, the organizers invite any and all devotees who are direct disciples of Srila Prabhupada, no matter who they are, where they are, what they're doing, what they're not doing. They're all invited to write offerings for Srila Prabhupada. And I mentioned this for one reason. It's available online. You can download the book, digital copy, free of charge. And all you have to do is go to, I think it's called SP Tributes, sptributes.com. Yes, it does. So that's sptributes.com. Maybe someone can write it into the chat. And otherwise, hard copies, they've only printed, I think, for those who have contributed. They printed 475 copies only, it says. So that's nice. The other Prabhupada Vyasa Puja book is produced by the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust in Los Angeles. And theirs is more selective. They take offerings from each of the temples and projects, various projects, and also from the sannyasis. So it's not quite so democratic, but it's also nice offerings. Yeah, that's also coming up. Krishna's appearance, and then Srila Prabhupada's appearance, and we get to serve the other back to back, so to say. And that's coming up this week. What else do I have to show and tell? Well, this is kind of a silly thing in a way, but I mean, the book is not silly. Another new book, this is not from me, this is from my godbrother, Satyaraj Prabhu, otherwise known as Stephen Rosen, Forms of Krishna, collected essays on Vaishnava Murtis. And two things about this book surprised me. One was that he was able to get this published with the publisher that he published, namely Lexington Books, which is, a respectable publisher of academic books. It's a collection of his articles that he's written over the years on various deities, Krishna deities. And he's already published most of these in Back to Godhead magazine. And he uses these articles as a vehicle for explaining Krishna consciousness, bhakti yoga, Krishna, the deity, and so on. On specific deities, he has one on Radha Damodar, one on Radharaman, one on Jagannath, Shishi, Radha, Vrindavan, Chandra. So these are ISKCON deities in New Vrindavan. And another ISKCON temple, Rukmini Dwarakadisha in Los Angeles. Then he jumps back to India, Srinathji, the deity of Govardhan Nata, who is now in Natadvara in Western Rajasthan. He has a chapter again back to ISKCON and now in Hawaii, calls it Hawaii 5.0, the Panchatattva in the Aloha state. And then he goes to back to India, to Radha Gopinath. And then, oh, and that's it. I thought he had more. Okay, 10 chapters. Yeah, several months ago, maybe it's more than a year, he wrote to me and he asked me to write a foreword for the book. And I said, you know, I'd really like to, but I'm really busy. And I should have known better. When Satyaraj wants something, he kind of doesn't take no for an answer. So he said, no, you have to write this forward. You're the one to write this forward. And he wasn't going to take no for an answer. Okay, so I wrote a forward. And I thought, you know, that's it. But then what happens? I get the copy of the book. And what does he do? He puts my name right on the front of the book. Forward by Kenneth Valpy. It's funny, you know, they do that sometimes when it's somebody famous, when the forward is written by somebody famous. They'll do that. But somebody like me? No. Anyway. So this is a nice book. Right. I think it's time, unless someone else has something more to say, that we jump into our fifth canto, our voyaging in the fifth canto. Should we do that? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay. I know you have no choice. Okay, I'm going to probably be jumping around a little bit today, but let's see how it goes. I have open before me chapter 20 of Canto 5, verse number 41. So the chapter title is The Structure of the Universe. We've been looking at chapter 18, and we saw there are so many prayers. And I mentioned last time that I think this is one clue to understand what's going on in this description of the universe. What was the clue? Well, there were 4 deities, namely the Chaturvyuha. And then there's another 5, making up 9 for the 9 varshas. And the idea was that this has something to do with this particular genre of what we call Vedic literature, namely Pancharatra. And I mentioned that Pancharatra is about, one way to understand the gist of Pancharatra, it's about connecting the spiritual and the material dimensions. And so it's about how the Lord appears in this world, how he descends, and how he has different types of forms. There's a whole lot about this in Chaitanya Charitamrita chapters, Madhya Lila, 22, 23, I guess. Teachings to Sanatana Goswami about all these different expansions of the Chaturvyuha. So that is also, we find in these this part of the 5th canto. And so what's happening is kind of giving a map of the worship of the Lord, or it's giving a devotional geography. And I mentioned one other thing. I was speaking about microcosm, macrocosm, and mesocosm. And if you were there last time, I suggested that mesocosm means the temple. The temple is a kind of three-dimensional replica of Jambudvip in some respects, in its Pancharatrika form. Pancharatrika temples are likely to have some sort of sense of replication of Jambudvip, in which the high tower is Mount Meru. So then in this verse, verse 41 of chapter 20, we have a shorter prose, not exactly verse, but prose, saying, Akalpam evam vesham gata esha bhagavan atma yoga mayaya virachita vivida loka yatra gopiyayeti artha. The various forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Narayana and Vishnu, are beautifully decorated with different weapons. The Lord exhibits these forms to maintain all the varied planets created by his personal potency, Yoga Maya. Yeah, Atma Yoga Maya, yeah, Virachita. Okay, so this is interesting to me because it's indicating, why does the Lord appear in all these forms? He's maintaining all these various lokas. And the word loka is translated here as planet. It can also mean just location or realm, place, area. And of course, it can also mean people. And I couldn't help but wonder, in the word gopiyayeti, gopiyaya iti, whether there's an intentional allusion to the gopis. Although here gopiyaya means to maintain, for the purpose of maintaining. Gopana means to protect. So the gopas and the gopis are protectors of the of the cows. Yeah, so I thought that's interesting. This comes almost, I think, at the end of this chapter, yeah, which kind of ends after discussing, yeah, so there's Jambudvip, and then, okay, what's beyond Jambudvip? Well, then there's there's the extended mandala, Bhu Mandala, and except so many islands. All of that seems described as wonderful ocean, saltwater, milk and tea, and honey, and so on, oceans. And those make me also wonder if that is not alluding to or at
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
what's happening in the.
He lost his connection, looks like.
What were you saying, Tia?
Rajamohini asked if anyone was going to Simhachalam for Radhastami. And I said that I was hoping to go, but was having trouble finding on-site accommodation, and off-site is difficult because I don't have a car. So
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back. Oh, maybe some arrangement could be made.
I hope so.
Okay, so we're back. Sorry for that. We ran out of juice. we ran out of pinyons. So where was I? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so what are these oceans made of? Milk, yogurt, ghee, honey, probably also sugar. These are the items which are offered in Abhishek when you're bathing the deity. So, and this calls to mind what one professor was pointing out in his presentation in this conference in Dubrovnik, that that the Vedic hymns can be read as riddles. A riddle is like a puzzle, like a verbal puzzle. In other words, it's like in a code form in order to say, it says one thing to mean something else. And he was explaining that this was part of what was going on with the Vedic hymns chanting, that this was part of a ritual called Brahmodya. Brahmodya was a contest that was going on during, or as part of, or I don't know, preliminary to certain ritual sacrifices. And so this quizzing, this riddling was going on. So it strikes me also, there's a kind of riddle with these descriptions of our cosmic geography. And as I said, I think there's something there. I think one clue that these so-called oceans, what are these oceans? Well, they're the same ingredients that one would offer to the deity in an Abhishek ceremony, which to me points back to the mesocosm of the temple. But aside from that pure speculation, I wanted to share something I just came across. I can share screen. Yeah, this is another interpretation of Jambu Dvip and other dvipas. Where does this come from? It comes from a book on Puranic geography, which was written some decades ago. I forget. I came across it. You guessed it, on the internet. Well, maybe I should identify my sources. This is, what page is this? 66. Okay, here we go. Archaeological Survey of India Library. The Geography of the Puranas by S.M. Ali. People's Publishing House, New Delhi. He's a professor of geography at the University of Sogar. I guess we should all know where is Sogar. And this was published July 1966. So there you go. He gives, I mean, he gives a quite thorough overview of not only the geography described in the Puranas, but also in here, the Mahabharata. So you see Meru in the middle. Actually, I can fix this to a proper view clockwise. Yes. Yes, so this is similar to what the Bhagavatam gives. Ilavrita is described as Ilavrata Varsha. And then there's Hari Varsha, Himavata Varsha, and Bharata Varsha. That's Bharata Varsha, same as in Bhagavatam. Shveta Hiranyaka Varsha, and what is that? Airavata Varsha. In the Bhagavatam, I think that's Uttara Kuru, or Kuru Varsha, or Uttara Kuru. Yeah, there's something else up here somewhere. Here. What was this? Oh, this is from the Ramayana. So also Jambudvip, and then listing the mountains with the spaces in between. Similar, here it gives Uttarakuru. And then it's also giving these dvipas beyond in Bhumandala. The salt sea, whoa! I didn't notice that before. In the Ramayana, there's a sea of blood. I don't know what to make of that. Sea of milk, sea of fresh water, sea of, what does that say? Sudarsh. Can't read that. Sudarshana. Oh, that's Sudarshana Loka. Beyond Devaloka. All right. Anyway, going back to this one. Okay, now I have to, anyway, you got the idea. So he's identifying them with different parts of the Asian continent and also Africa. Jambudvip is in the middle. And then also in this book, I think I know that the page number where. Yeah, let's see if I can find this. There's an interesting description of Meru. Oh, no, that's not. Yes, no. Mm-hmm. No, that's not what I was looking for. Anyway, he gives an explanation of Meru as a great plateau, and he wants to say that this would coincide with or could refer to the great high plateau, which is there in Tibet and I guess north of Tibet, so western, what's now China. And he goes into some detail about that. I thought that was rather intriguing. But then let's go to our commentaries on the Bhagavatam. And what did I find? 2 should be here. Okay, yes, let's start here. This is Yasmin Asankhyeya. Okay, now we're jumping back to chapter 18. And this is verse number 33. So remember, chapter 18 is all these prayers to the Lord in his many different forms by the different leaders and residents of these amazing places, these varshas. So here we have a verse, Yasmin asankyeya visheshanama rupa kritau kabibi kalpiteyam sankyaya tattva darshapani ate tasmai nama sankhya nidarshanayate iti. The iti is like a quote, quotation marks. It's like a closing quotation. So this verse and a few verses before this are quoting one of the sages, whose name I don't remember right now. But he is praying, "Oh my Lord, your name, form, and bodily features are expanded in countless forms. No one can determine exactly how many forms exist. Yet you yourself, in your incarnation as the learned scholar Kapila Deva, have analyzed the cosmic manifestation as containing 24 elements. Therefore, if one is interested in Sankhya philosophy, by which one can enumerate the different truths, he must hear it from you. Unfortunately, non-devotees simply count the different elements and remain ignorant of your actual form. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you." Okay, now I think I marked something here from one of the commentators. Yes. Okay, this is a commentary from Sri Giridhara Lal. Giridhara Lal, as far as I can tell, is a sub-commentary to Vallabhacharya. But I could be wrong because they always put his commentary before they put Vallabhacharya's. And here they don't have Vallabhacharya because it's 5th canto. And he didn't comment 5th canto. Okay, let's see what he says. He's quoting, "If even the material world is myself," so the Lord is speaking here, sort of, he's picturing the Lord speaking. "If even the material world is myself, then why does it not appear like that?" Like what, you may say? Well, let's see. Okay, in reply, the reply is that without taking refuge in you, the Lord, Maya does not recede, and that is why it appears differently. For those who have taken refuge in you, and for that reason become blessed by you, the material energy appears identical with you. This is what is stated here. The numbers given by Kapila and others are offshoots of Maya. They appear as long as the living entities are shrouded, covered by Maya. Once the covering of Maya is gone, the offshoots of Maya, the things that extend out from Maya, byproducts, will also be gone, and these numbers also disappear. The difference is but a product of Maya. As long as Maya is there, the world appears to be in duality. After the dissolution of Maya, however, the world appears as Brahma, spirit only. So I thought that's interesting as a way of thinking about, again, the whole description here of the Jambudvip and of Bhumandala. So this is all quite bewildering to us, and what Giridhar Lal seems to be saying is, well, yes, that's going to be bewildering to you. Why? Because you are under the influence of Maya. What do you expect? But if we are free of Maya, then we see that the world is the material energy, the world is non-different from the Lord. We see the Lord. And yeah, it's interesting. He says these numbers, and here I think he's referring to the 25 principles of Sankhya. Yes, 25 elements. He says that all of that is just going to become kind of non-existent when one is with the Lord. So what Narottama Dasa is describing in his song, we might just try to make a connection. We may say, well, when he is anticipating being with Krishna, then there's no question of talking about 25 elements. And perhaps by extension, there's no question of talking about so many thousands of yojanas of distance, of height, of mountains and lengths and widths of dvipas and so on. For him, all of that just falls away. Okay. Here is also, I found an intriguing comment by one acharya, and I must okay, Yadavarya. This is a comment to what, verse number 31 of this same chapter. The translation of this verse, is it here nearby? Okay, we can find it. Yes. Okay, my dear Lord, this visible of your own creative energy. All right. Since the countless varieties of forms within this cosmic manifestation are simply a display of your external energy, this Virat Rupa, universal body, is not your real form. Except for a devotee in transcendental consciousness, no one can perceive your actual form. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. All right. Okay, and then there's this interesting point made by Sridhar Swami. Nahi maricha jalam etavat iti sankhyatum shakyate. No one can count the particles of water in a mirage. So it seems to be saying, yeah, well, let's read the whole thing. The earth with its numberless forms which is perceivable by your Maya, is not different from you. Okay. It is because their perception is an illusion. And then he says, no one can count the particles of water in a mirage. So there's this kind of strange play between the understanding, how do we perceive the world? It's from the perspective of pure devotion, it's all Krishna. From the non-devotional perspective, there's no Krishna. But there's somewhere in between where, here it says, the Virat Rupa, it's not your real form, and no one can perceive your real form. So therefore, I guess it's saying we're describing what can be seen, but then what's being described can't be seen. I mean, all these things like Meru and airplanes bringing the Ganga down from outside the universe and on, and oceans of ghee and so on. Who can see any of this? So what is going on? All right. Well, here's one hint from Vijayadvaja, and he's a follower of Madhvacharya. He says, Avyapadesha Rupine means his forms cannot be fully explained. Na upalakshita sthanai iti padvayam padadvayam. Okay, and then we have Vishwanath. We always feel especially appreciating of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He sort of speaks our language, the Gaudiya Vaishnava language, more than anyone. He says the objects are only figments of Maya and do not exist in reality. It has the form of humans, birds, animals, and so on. But there is no number. It is not possible to comprehend the various modes in which these various things exist. Okay, this is a theme, I think, that comes again and again. It's not possible to comprehend this universe. So we get these descriptions, and then we get some comment like, we cannot comprehend. We cannot count, the number of grains of sand in the universe, and so on. But here it is, and then we may wonder why even give such a description. And the commentators, as far as I can tell, for the most part, they see themselves as simply, well, as Prabhupada says, transparent via media. They don't see themselves as needing to give any sort of explanation that we might feel would be helpful, like, okay, where is this exactly and what does this actually mean? They seem to be satisfied just to pass on the information with some clarification. Not really much more than that. So they really take a very humble position. Vishwanath goes on to say, even the human bodies are very different from each other. And even inside the body, there are so many peculiarities which are unique to each body. When this is the case with external objects, what should be said about you? Okay, that's a case of a certain nyaya, a certain form of analogical reasoning called, some of you may know, kaimutya nyaya. If X is the case, then Y must be even more so the case, basically. Okay, well, it's all very wonderful. Now, let's go back and let's see if something is there to be noted. Okay. Yes, Vrindavati found this book on archive. I think I meant to mention it's available on archive.org if you're interested. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking about and reading about. And sharing about. So let's see, any of you have any reflections on any of these strange things about Jambudvip, Bhumandala, temples as mesocosms? Of course, in South India, they have much more of the sense of the temple being kind of mesocosm of the universe. Although, well, yeah, because they have these large temples in the South, which are not there. You don't see them in the North. Rupa Goswami's Govindaji Mandir is a kind of exception in the North, and that, of course, suffered by a partial dismantling sometime in the 17th century. Otherwise, it may be time for a meditation from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in his Manashiksha. Verse number 4. Asatvarta vesha visrijamati sarvasvaharani kata mukti vyagra nashinukila sarvatmakilani apityakva lakshmi patiratimito vyomanayanim Raje Radha Krishna Svarati Manidau Tvam Bhajamana. O mind, abandon the prostitute of mundane talks, who plunders all intelligence. Do not listen at all to the stories of the tigress named Mukti, liberation, who devours all souls. Moreover, also give up attachment to the husband of Lakshmi, Sri Narayana, who only leads one to Vaikuntha. Instead, here in Vraja, serve Sri Radha Krishna, who give one the jewel of their own love. And verse number 5. Asatcheshta kashta pradavikata pasha libiriha prakamang kamadi prakatapatapati vyatikarai gale badvahanye hamiti bakavit varmapagane kurutvang putkaran avati sahiyata tvang manaita. While here on the revealed path of devotion, I have been attacked by the hideous gang of lust etc., who have bound my neck with the troublesome, dreadful ropes of wicked deeds. I am being killed. Cry out piteously like this to the devotees of Sri Krishna, the destroyer of Bhaka. O mind, they will save you from these enemies. So, can remember this week that Krishna is the destroyer of Bhaka. Bhakasura. And his devotees, the devotees of the destroyer of Bhaka, Bhakambit, they're called Bhakavit Vartmapa Gana, the assembly, the Gana of Vartmapa, the protectors of the way, the Vartma, of Bhakavit, of the one who is the destroyer, the breaker bit of Bhaka, the Bhaka demon. So we can take shelter of these devotees this week, next week, and the week after that, and every week. Week after week, day after day. What do you think? Is that a good idea?
Yes, very good idea.
Good idea. Okay. Any last comments? Next week, I'm not sure. Let's see. Next week, well, next week is Janmashtami and then Vyasa Puja. Yeah, I'm not completely sure that I'll be available next guests coming, and we just don't know yet. We'll see. But we will let you know. Dear Lalita, comment.
Thank you very much for this journey through the Bhagavatam. It's so very exalted. It's almost, in some seconds, I think I don't really understand anything. But then, when you show this archived picture of all the layers of the oceans and rivers, it sort of gives some sort of picture. But then you're talking, Guru, that there is no way of really understanding the construction, the geography of the universe. It's one thing, and another thing is that who has actually seen it? Was the Vyasa the only one that he saw the construction of the universe when he spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam? That would be my humble question.
Whether or not Vyasa sees it, we don't know, because Shukadev, his son, basically he says when he's describing all this, he says, now I'm going to describe what I've heard. He doesn't say, I've seen this.
Oh.
There is a hint in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras that if one perfects a meditation, I believe it's a meditation on the sun, a samyama practice, that if one perfects that practice, then one can understand the structure of the universe. One can comprehend the structure of the universe. So it suggests to me that it's not so much a a mental exercise or an intellectual exercise. It's something that goes beyond all of that. Vrindapati, you want to say something about the Surya Siddhanta?
No, well, I just remembered the name of there is a book called Surya Siddhanta,
Yeah.
and there are many people who practice Surya Siddhanta. Well, not many people practice Surya Siddhanta, but there is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura. Srila Prabhupada wrote a commentary on the Surya Siddhanta, I believe, before he became a sannyasi. But there is this Surya Vigyan, which talks about being able to remotely view the universe, and maybe there is a connection in Surya Siddhanta. It just came to mind as you were talking about it. That's so I didn't have any other comment on it or anything. I don't have that mystic perfection yet.
Yeah, so it seems to be a mystic perfection to have that that sort of comprehension. But even there, I think we have to wonder what that really means, because we get a sense from the Bhagavatam that the only real comprehension of the universe is seeing it as non-different from the Lord.
I'm not sure if Surya Siddhanta is the same as Surya Vijnana. There are two. I've heard of two versions. I think they may be interconnected. But there's a whole thing on Gayatri Sadhana, which talks about the worship of Surya as well, which is the mantra that we all chant as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's still it's a gray area, but there's a lot of things. There is some other yogis that are able to say that everything emanates from light, and all these elements become converted into different things, and therefore these oceans are a manifestation of that light, but appear as different things like milk and oceans of milk, for example. It's a huge speculation on my part, but yes, I should keep quiet, really.
Very much. I wanted to ask a little question. I know we are almost over time, but I just wanted to ask you, like, when the person leaves the body, obviously all these layers of the ocean, it's all of material energy of the Lord. In order for the soul, do they need to actually realize all that knowledge in order to go through all those layers out of the material universe? If one is fortunate enough to go out of the universe when he leaves the body, is it maybe easier for the soul to go through all those layers and leave the universe and go back to God, or is the soul guided wherever it needs to go?
I think with that, one gets to that stage, there's no problem. There's no obstacles. You can get out of the universe without having to know any details about the universe, because you know what the universe is, or who the universe is related to. So, yeah, I think it's a program. It's an elevator program you get in the spiritual. Yeah, like Dhruva Maharaj gets he climbs into this vimana and off he goes. And there are no obstacles for him.
Thank you very much. that takes the weight off.
Yes, I wouldn't worry about it. Right. Thank you all very much. Have a great week. Have a great Janmashtami Titi and Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja festival and every day in between. And we'll say, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai.
Yeah.
Jai
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Very well.
Haribol.
Thank you so much, Guru
Hare
Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Krishna.
Have a
Hare
lovely
Krishna.
night.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.